Yeah, I had a joke that what was it? Have you ever been with? I would say, have you ever been with a fat guy? All right. Well, everybody said you can't say it like that. You have to say dated. Have you ever dated a fat guy?
Mm-hmm.
Because been with has the connotation of we've slept together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just thought, and I mean, my mind doesn't work like that.
No, you get
when
that
they
too.
said that, I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Well, now I see what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't see that when it came out of my mouth.
Yeah, people will come out after the show. I can't believe you said whatever, and I didn't think like that.
Right.
That tells a lot about the people, right?
Right. Oh,
that,
yeah.
That come out. My daughter did a joke. She does. She's very funny, and she did a joke. She had a rather large kid in her class that just hated her, and just didn't like her for some reason. She said, "He finally liked me." I said, "How did you get him?" She's like, "The little fat boy." That's what she called him. Little fat boy didn't like me. This when she was really little. Doesn't like me. Dad, he finally likes me. And I said, how'd you get him to like you? She's like, it was a piece of cake. So there you go.
That's good.
Yeah. But, yeah, so do you, have you had any issues since you've come here with your humor? Have you had, well, I'll say this, because you stepped into a position that Paul had and Jared had and were, I don't want to say iconic, but they were associated with that theater.
Right.
Last year they had several different people that tried it, and they're not there this year. And I said I wouldn't have done it, because no matter how good you are at that point, people were used to the other two for so long. But you've had that little buffer of time, a year,
Right.
where they've been gone. So how have you found the crowds?
That's a really good question. Nobody else has asked me really how I feel about the fact that I'm stepping into these big shoes. But I think of it like this: like comedy is like going into Baskin Robbins. There's 31 flavors there, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to get. What are you going to get? We're going to Baskin Robbins. What are you going
I'm
to get?
lactose intolerant, so you're about to kill me.
Oh, okay. All
No,
right.
I'm just kidding.
Just
Rocky
nuts.
Road. I'm getting Rocky
All right.
Road.
I'm probably going to get the pralines and cream. But we're going to see somebody get that rainbow sherbet or whatever or something. We're going to,
Not in
and I'm going to
Branson, they
go.
don't do rainbow.
I'm going to go, man. What is? I got that. I'm going to go. Why would you buy that? But that's because that's what they like. That's their favorite right there. And even though I don't like that, I'm this one. I deserve to be in that case. Right. I know that I deserve to be in that of those 31 flavors. Because, and that's not my ego talking. I've just been doing this long enough to know that I'm a good comic. I'm not the best comic. I'm not Joe Comic. But I'm just the next comic, you know. When you go to a comedy club, that's the strange thing about mine and his job when you work in a comedy club. If you go to St. Louis and you work at the Funny Bone, they can go, man, you are the best we have ever had. You are absolutely the best we have ever had do this. Well, can I come back next week? No, you cannot. You're fired.
Yeah, right.
Call us and you can come back in about 8 months. Doesn't matter if you're the greatest ever. You can't come back next week.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of the way I think about it. Paul did his thing, Jared did his thing, and I'm doing my thing, and it's completely different. I'm not trying to emulate them. I'm not trying to.
You're echoing what Perry, who does Hardly Worth It, said the other day. He said the same thing. He said, I can do a show for 1,000 people, and one person will have an issue with it. They can't accept the fact that 999 other people liked it.
Right.
They just have a weird mentality, and so he said, I just look at it as I had 999 people that enjoyed it. And maybe one didn't. So,
and I'm kind of like, I guess I'm like that too. If there's, I think there's 415 there last night. If 414 liked the show and the one didn't, I don't care. I don't care. It's just there's something wrong with you.
And there's some people that just don't like comedy. Right. Do you get people that come out after? Do you meet the crowd after the show?
I do meet the crowd after the show.
I get people that come out and they say, I don't like comedy, and I always say, well, that's sad.
Right.
How can you not like anything funny? That would be a very strange life to have.
Right. And I've got a couple of things that I got a couple of bits that I do that by the end, when that bit's over, I feel like everybody in that audience has laughed. At least at something I said. You've laughed at something I said.
Mm-hmm. And that's what they usually say. I don't usually like comedy, but there's always big butts. Big butts here in Branson.
Right,
so.
right.
So
it's very strange, man. It's bizarro entertainment world.
Yeah.
It really is. That's what I always said about it before, that it's just so strange that, you wouldn't... our age people in St. Louis or whatever, Charlotte, North Carolina, would not think that there's people going, hurry, honey, or we're going to miss Jimmy Osmond tonight that we paid $40 each to go see,
Yeah.
That's just very strange to me, and to the rest of the world too.
And we have a strange life. It's very hard to have high self-esteem, I think, in my life. My grandma said it was normal in losers like me.
Wow.
But she...
That wasn't your real grandmother.
Yeah. Really? He said he was. It was a rest stop. It was very dark. Anyways, no, but you were kind of saying about the comedy clubs, and I also think going along that we can have nights where we do the same set, and you just kill and kill and kill, and then one night flop.
Right.
You're like,
right.
what is wrong with me tonight? What is wrong?
You're talking about in a club or here?
Either
or
one.
both, right?
Yeah, both. Because I treat mine as a club act here, if you saw it. But then I think I must have done something wrong. I must have done. But here, because we do 400 and some shows a year. You're going to do a lot of shows.
You're
here.
thinking they must have done something.
I'm thinking we're on a boat. The weather wasn't so good today.
Right.
They had to walk down in the rain. This, that, whatever. I've accepted it a little bit more, but it used to drive me insane.
Oh, and at a club, I would try to figure that out too. I'd like, man, we're Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and this is second. It's first show Friday, and it didn't go that well. But these jokes have killed, and then so you got to kind of boil down to that old saying of "you're only as good as your last show." I don't believe that. I'm as good. You're as good as your act. You're as good as how good you are. But there's a certain feng shui to every show, and like a waitress can mess something up.
Yes.
You can be building that momentum, and you've been going for 7 minutes, and then she's like, "Did you have a Diet Coke?"
Yeah. Or a weird laugher in the audience.
Yeah,
I've had it where
like that.
somebody's laughing in a weird. It sounds weird, and so other people are reluctant to laugh along.
Right. Or the finest girl in the room stands up to go to the bathroom. And every dude in there is like, wow, check that out. And so you just lost half of those people.
Yeah.
I've actually seen that happen. And when she comes back, I just stop and look too.
Yeah.
You think I'm going to waste material while she's walking?
Yeah.
Just let her get set down over there. All right, now back to where we were.
I had that happen with a school. We get a lot of high schools. And I do a big build-up. My whole act, the whole cruise builds up to something that happened. I have a lot of callback at the very end.
Oh, wow.
Everything makes sense that I joked about. And I was at that moment where it was all going to come around, and some girl from a high school got a text message and screamed because she was so excited about it. Right as I'm about to do the punchline.
Wow.
Just shrieks, oh my God, raises her phone up. And I said, thank you very much. It also happened to be the night I had a film crew filming the show. So
You said that bad laughter, that distinctive laugh person, they can ruin it. Somebody talking too much, and I have to take out all those. In a comedy club, like a heckler, you shut them down really fast, and you say things. You have step number 1, and then step number 2, and
then security.
Right, and Ron White, tater salad guy, taught me a great one, and he just taught. I don't even know if this was his. He said, here's a great way to say it. He goes, you just tell them, say, hey, listen, if you'll be quiet, you'll be able to stay till the end of the show. Well, that is a math equation that they have to do.
Actually.
This plus this equals, I see what you're saying. Okay. And then that gives them the choice, and there's no joking about it. It's be quiet or leave, one of the two. But here, you can't shut somebody down here so much because it's a nice 70-year-old lady who
doesn't realize she's talking.
Right, yeah.